Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Happy Hour podcast. Of course, we're YouTube live each and every week. We come to you live, and for those of you who are not watching us on YouTube, of course, we're right here on PodNation TV, on Roku, and Fire TV. Of course, Jeff Porrini is back with us this week from the Yo Show, and this is our first PodNation collab episode, which is the PodNation Takeover, which includes Stoner Jesus from the Stoner Jesus Show joining us tonight as well. How you doing, my man?
Oh yeah, man, I'm doing good. I'm glad to be here and glad to rep the cannabis on PodNation TV. It's been a good ride so far. Can only get better from
Nice.
here.
Nice. Well, we're glad to have you over there. I know, I'm kind of Rob's right hand with a lot of stuff. He's happy to have you. PodNation TV is happy to have you. Of course, we're starting a little bit early here on YouTube. That happens sometimes. Of course, DahliaIsDopey will be joining us in a little bit momentarily here on the show. But for me, this week, it's been a very long week for me. Of course, last time we came live was last Friday. I woke up Saturday morning. I found out that our good friend, the one and only Psycrotes, you've seen him, you've heard him on the show. One of my best friends for over 20 plus years of pro wrestling. He passed away last Saturday. Of course, I've been chronicalizing a lot of it. He's had a rough 2 years. We talked about how I found him in a hotel room. He was all hopped up on pills. I had to send him to, the hospital, all that stuff. And then a few weeks after that, he ended up jumping over an overpass, getting hit by a train and fucking surviving. Um, but he's been through a lot of turmoil. The last time I've actually seen him in person was Exotica. So if anybody is interested, go check out our Exotica episode. That means a lot more to me now than what it did before. It actually just hit YouTube today, the censored version, the uncensored version over on PodNation TV. Make sure you go check that out. Of course, you may hear me say Steve a lot of times. We knew him as Steve before he legally changed his name to Psycrotes, which was his wrestling name. But very unique guy, very unusual character, as he would always say. He would always say, what an unusual character. Unfortunately, he has no family, nothing like that. So his body went to the state. Apparently, he's already been cremated. We're trying to figure out where his remains are. But we're going to be doing a tribute episode for Psycrotes. So if any of you fans out there, I know a lot of people asked about Psychro, they paid their condolences to Psycrotes. We will be doing our fifth installment of our War Pig saga, which was originally supposed to be myself, Blood, and Psycrotes talking about our 20 years in the wrestling industry, all the fun stories we've had. That was originally supposed to be the three of us, but now it's going to be myself, Blood, and it's going to be an open Zoom invite for anybody who wants to come in and say anything about Psycrotes. We're going to be playing videos. We're going to be playing, old videos from the podcast, old videos from Happy Hour TV when we did that, plus various photos, all that stuff for Psycrotes. That is going to be live as always, right here on YouTube Live, February 3rd. So February 3rd, 12 o'clock p.m. We will be there. And then if you're local, myself and Blood, EWA Hall of Famers, we're going to be going over to EWA Rage in the Cage. I think they might be doing a 10-bell salute for Steve there. We're going to be there hanging out. So if you're there, come over, say hey to EWA Hall of Famers, all that stuff. And we'll be over there. And then, of course, on Friday, we got our first major snowfall here in Baltimore. And my wife ended up getting into an accident. So we've
Oh,
had to do that
Jesus.
for the last 2 days and all that stuff. But so that's what I wanted to address. I wanted to address the stuff with Psycrotes, early. So, as I said, very interesting guy, very unique character. And Dahlia is in the room, but real quick before we let her in, Stoner Jesus, why don't you give us a little bit of an insight on your show, just in case anybody on the Happy Hour podcast that tunes in is tuning in for the first time. What can they expect out of the Stoner Jesus show? I know you just had Adeline Starr, who we had a few weeks back on your show recently. What all can they expect out of the Stoner Jesus show?
Well, for those of you who don't know, of course, I'm world famous, the world famous Stoner Jesus. So plenty of people probably know about me. But if you don't, my show is basically just any goofy shit that pops into my head, talking about weed, weird stories on the internet, anybody I can get to interview, anybody I can think is interesting. Some of my favorite guests in the past have been John Dunsworth, who played Mr. Leahy on Trailer Park Boys. He was awesome. Michael Rosenbaum, who played Lex Luthor on Smallville. He
Oh,
was great. Had a bunch of adult people, a bunch of cannabis industry people. Just it's just a fun time, and it's just me and whatever I think is funny, goofy shit. Not taking anything. Although I can get on rants when it comes to like cannabis legalization and stuff like that. But other than that, it's a good time and it's fun, and we love people to come hang out. And especially after COVID started, I've been doing this show a long time, but after COVID started, I really started to see it more of a place where people could just get away from
Yeah.
just the nastiness that they see every day on social media and everything else, and
Yep.
just come and smoke some weed and chill. And I hope that's what they get out of it.
Yeah, and I mean this show itself is a COVID baby, and man, you're in the right place because this show is the same thing. Jeff can contest. It is just whatever my fucking deluded CTE wrestler beaten brain thinks of, and we're like, let's just throw this out and see if the person. Yeah, the adult film stars are a little bit easier, but we would get people that would get booked on this show that their rep wouldn't tell them what our show was like, and they'd be expecting basic question answer type show, and then they come in and we'd be like, all right, we're going to show a video of this. And they're just sitting there like a deer in headlights. We're like, welcome to the happy hour podcast. But what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and let Dahlia in here, and we're going to rock and roll with her. Of course, we're here live on YouTube Live. So for anybody out there, if you want to comment, make sure you comment in the stream. Jason Rushman, our boy Jason, is here. So shout out to Jason. He said, I'm so sorry for your loss so deeply. And sorry, of course, one of our most popular photos from Exotica was of Jason with Steve from that event. So that's going to be an image that we're probably going to have blown up and displayed somewhere there. So of course, Jason, everybody knows him. He's our number one fan who we had knighted at Exotica by having Janine Jericho and Justice Jordan shit whip him with a whip and all that stuff to knight him as the number one fan here for the Happy Hour podcast. And of course, we'll be back this coming Tuesday. Also, is a double shot week. This coming Tuesday, we'll have Natasha Nogan, who is going to be a part of the New York and London Fashion Festival. So that's going to be really cool talking to her about all kinds of fashion stuff. And once Dahlia is in here, we're going to rock and roll with her. And Jeff, this week's AI insane.
yeah.
Exactly that. Like I've been coming across these images, man, where I sat there and I looked and I'm like, dude, what the fuck is happening? Like I entered like kind of like a forum / a group where like, they post all these fucking things. And the one that I'm gonna show tonight, I'm just kind of like, who the fuck
Because last week's went really weird. I mean,
yeah,
had a pattern, but weird shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean that's the thing with it is that with those, and I mean last week of course was women slurping soup, which last week it was women slurping soup and it was all kinds of different soups and it was these meat sticks. It was like these fucking like ground beef dick meat sticks coming out of the soup, and we couldn't figure out whether or not it was they had meat stick tongues and they were slurping this stuff up, like whether it was absorbing in or whether like they were eating this like spaghetti out of the soup. And I'm like, fuck, like my soup never had any of this shit in here.
I watched the replay twice the next 2 days and still couldn't figure out what that tongue was supposed to be. I kept watching on a big screen. I watched it at work. I'm like, I can't so.
And Stoner Jesus, what's your, and of course we talk about this all the time. AI is definitely getting insane. There's AI generated everything out there, like almost to the point to where you don't know what's real, what's fake. Of course, people are redoing AI stuff for like Elvis, and there was a Taylor Swift song about Travis Kelce that came out. Like, what's your take on the whole AI insanity that's just popping off everywhere?
First of all, it's gotten to the point where nothing I see on the internet, I believe. I don't care if it's a video. I remember talking about this on my show probably almost a year ago. There was this video, and it's hard to find, and it's hard to search. But if anybody's seen it, it looks like a child that's like on a fence. He's like holding a fence, and behind him is just a 200 feet drop off into like some ravine. And it looks like he's just holding on. And then they go through it step by step, and they show how it's just a kid on a sidewalk holding on to a fence, and how they brought the ravine under it and the waterfall and all the shit. And from that point on, nothing I see I think is real. I don't care if they say, well, this is a video of this happening. That could be made up. I don't know. You got to more beyond that. And I don't know how they can. But
Yeah.
as far as AI and all that, especially like I talked a lot about the robots, you know, like the Boston Dynamic makes the robots, the little robot dogs and all that crap. I just want to be in the part where the robots and the AI serve us and do everything we need them to do and do all the grunt work. But I want to kind of like die before they turn on us and take over humanity and just like
Oh,
kill
yeah.
all the humans. I want to miss that part. But I want to enjoy the ride at least until
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like we've learned nothing from what was it? What was that Will Smith movie? iRobot. We've learned
iRobot.
nothing from iRobot because and we're already getting sorry, like we're already hearing that like they had to ask the governments to step in, kind of get a grasp of the shit. We did a story, I think it was last week and a week before. Like one story was of a robot ripping a guy open, and then another one was a robot trapping him, like he was stacking vegetables and he thought the guy was vegetables. So like he tried to stack the guy down and like he basically smashed the guy to death. And I'm like, this is what, and I don't trust AI driven cars, like smart cars and all that, because I know from old school Garmin navigators and all that shit that sometimes if it wasn't updated, it would tell you to drive the wrong way. So this
put you in the ocean
off a fucking overpass or into an ocean. Like
it would put you in an ocean when it got wonky. You would go into an ocean. It would all turn blue. I passed on that, bro. I passed.
Yeah. It's completely insane the way a lot of that shit works. And Dahlia will be joining us soon. It looks like she's trying to get connected, so she's come in and went out a couple of times already. Of course, that's what happens when you're live. That's what I like is the whole live element of everything. But no, what I'm going to do real quick is while she's still coming through, I'm going to get into our featured beer right now. Which, of course, this is the last episode for our current featured beer, which is Omission Brewing Company Pale Ale. It is a gluten-free lager. So I don't know what it is. And Jeff, I opened this thing really slow tonight because this fucking gluten-free shit, like I didn't even know it was gluten-free until I bought it. Every fucking time you open one of these, it fucking just cum blasts out of the top of the fucking bottle. So I don't know if it's the lack of gluten or if it's the fact that it gets excited because it sees, sexy men like ourselves on the screen.
Could be it.
It's just like, okay, I need to explode right now. Like,
that's why it's called Omission.
Yeah. So of course, shout out to Omission Brewing Company. Anybody, if you have a gluten problem, go out, get some gluten reduced Omission pale ale, and it says hoppy and easy drinking. So go out and get some of that. And then we're gonna get to Jeff's favorite part of this, which is our current featured shot, and I'll be glad once this is gone. It's starting to get low, which is Bacardi Gold. And I always say when you have Bacardi, Stoner Jesus probably knows this with certain strands of weed. It's nice to like mix certain things together every so often. Bacardi is a big mix this with something type drink. One night I did mix it with Mountain Dew. It was amazing, but for the most part, I'm an idiot and I don't bring anything down but a shot glass. So rum is very rough, not as rough as gin. Gin is still probably one of the hardest and nasty. I'd rather do moonshine over gin any day of the week. But shout out to Bacardi Gold. Go out, get some, pair it with some stuff. Pair it,
please,
as well.
Please.
So here we go. So this is the traditional pour over the laptop, and surprised that the laptop still works because there's been so much spilled on it before. So here we go. Cheers, everybody, and shout out to Bacardi and Bacardi Gold. So
I haven't gotten there, have you?
Yeah, and it's funny. Like I was sitting there, and I told Jeff when we started, I was like, I woke up and I chose violence today. Of course, shout out to the Ravens. The Ravens are going to the AFC Championship game. They won yesterday. But I was like, you know what? I woke up and like I was like, everybody hates the Redskins. Everybody. So I was like, should I change into my regular happy hour podcast gear and leave my Redskins beanie on, or should I just choose violence and leave this on? So I chose violence and left this on because I'm a Baltimore guy wearing DC stuff. There are nowhere close to the playoffs.
Commanders.
But Commanders,
you deserve to lose with a name like Commanders, bro.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's just weird, like just seeing football team. Like that was always like a weird thing to me as it was. And like people were like getting rid of their shit. And I'm like, why would you, like, that's almost like kind of like the Cleveland Indians almost. Like, so many traditional, like Jim Thome, just so many traditional players it's like, are you like, so they're not going to make, they'll probably make retro Guardians jerseys like that, but those guys never played for the Guardians. That's the whole thing. Like, it's just, it's weird the way it is. And, I know they're actually, I heard there's a lot of them trying to rally to get the name back. So, but we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know. I stay out of that shit. It's stupid to me, so, but yeah, we'll see what happens. And Dahlia is still trying to come through. She has come in and come out a couple of times already. So let me see if this works. Sometimes if you do ask to unmute and then ask to start video, sometimes that will work. Oh, and there we go. Of course, Jeff's showing the sign. Make sure you vote for us at the AVNs for Best Adult Podcast. So it is stiff competition, and I don't use that word like there is a lot of stiff competition, but you can vote every day. Make sure you go over, vote for all of your small market podcasts. Of course, there's a lot of big adult podcasts there. I would say go over, like, I feel AVN should break that up, because you have like 20, 25 shows. They should do it as major market and small market for that, because that would be cool. It would be cool to acknowledge a smaller market show like ours, and then the major market podcasts like Plug Talk, like, SDR show, all of those bigger shows out there, Holly Randall, all of those, and they can battle. And then my show, Porn Stash, all those smaller shows. Of course, Onyx Muse, her show will probably be a part of it, next year. Of course, she announced here on the show last week that she's doing her own, show, the Sin City podcast. So that's coming out soon. I mean, that's the thing. Like, everybody has a show. We all have our own vice. We all come, talk, hang out. Stoner Jesus told us about his show. Our show is kind of the same way. It was a COVID baby. So, that's the whole thing. So while Dahlia is getting ready, just in case she can't get connected, we're going to start getting into some of the stuff that we have for tonight. So the first thing is, did you guys hear about the woman who was on a jet ski and she basically ruptured her groin on a jet ski? Like, she had a genital rupture after falling off a jet ski driven by her husband.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So it said a Russian woman died of a genital rupture when she sustained as she fell off a high-speed jet ski that her husband was driving, according to authorities. Alina Spyrakova, 49, of Samara, a region near Russia's border with Kazakhstan, was enjoying a day on the Samara River in July when her husband, Oleg, I feel like an Oleg wouldn't control a jet ski all that well. Like, Elena is kind of like a cool name, but Oleg, no, I don't trust Oleg. Oleg, 52, when she fell into the water as he accelerated away. After another turn, the woman could not stay on the jet ski and fell into the water. And at that moment, her husband hit the gas, investigators reported. So, okay, so he fell in the water and he hit the gas. So, like, is it kind of like, is she skiing behind this thing? Like, I don't understand. So it says she sustained a serious hydraulic injury. Okay. All right. So, and that's the thing for anybody tuning in for the first time. I read titles and then I don't read these articles until we are live. So I'm trying to put all this together. And it says the impact of the fall created a water hammer effect. Okay, this woman's being like water hammered out by like a water dick. Like, that's basically what they're saying, a water hammer effect. Jeez. Which occurs when a fluid in motion stops or is forced to change direction suddenly. Oh, so they're saying that because of what he did, she basically got her pussy flushed out by water. Like, she's being pulled, like she's getting like a fucking ravine of water into her. Like, as Alan Dahlia's here. Hey, Dahlia, how are you?
Hi.
How you doing?
Perfect timing.
Okay. I don't know what ended up making that work, but I tried on 2 different computers like 12 different times, and I was just like, I'm here. I'm here. And then out of nowhere, it just turned on.
Dahlia wanted to do the old school, what the fuck did I just come into the middle of on this show? Because that happens a lot of times. I guess we're going over an article of a woman who ruptured her genitals genitals by falling off of a jet ski. So before we go on with the article, has anybody, like me, myself, I've never been on a jet ski. Like I've always wanted to get on one, but have any of you guys ever been on a jet ski before?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So Jeff has, I have. Soner, have you been on a jet ski before?
I have not. I
Okay.
don't plan
So have you guys ever had the instance where you were on a jet ski and that thing just fucking shoom, and you were like, oh God, this is it. This is where I fucking die. Like, have you ever had that kind of experience with a jet ski?
No, I've always had fun. I've always thought that they were like super fun.
My thing is,
I'll tell you, mine was once, and my wife
Yeah.
was actually driving, so we were both on, and she hit it without knowing how fast we're going, and I just took off and flew off the damn thing right in the water. So I'm 0 for 1, brother.
my thing is I would always probably be too intoxicated to even be on that jet ski. And yeah, so I know we went to Deep Creek, Maryland last year, and we had a big smash pontoon boat, and we were going way past the allotted speed limit on that lake that we were supposed to, and we were all drunk off of our asses. No, we weren't drinking. We were drinking and driving on that boat. But it's the whole thing that we saw jet skis and we were this close to getting them. And I was like, man, but so let's see how much this progresses. So it said, here, get out of here, Ed. I don't want that. So let's see. So it said on here that the impact created a water hammer effect. So let's see. So it says Spykrova was rushed to a hospital in the aftermath, but succumbed to her injuries. Oleg is facing criminal charges for causing death by negligence. The family says a criminal case is being brought against him. So I guess by him like flooring it, they're just kind of like, yeah, dude, you weren't paying attention and you like killed this woman via jet ski. So yeah, I don't know. Like I being on a jet ski alone, but holding on to someone behind on a jet ski, like I don't know. Like it's just kind of weird to me. But of course, Dahlia is here. And Dahlia, you do a lot of cosplay stuff. Of course, our graphic, we had you as Snow White on the top. Jeff saw that and Jeff was like, can she please come in Snow White? And I was like, Jeff, that's gonna be a lot, my man.
I would have done it.
Damn it!
I would have done it. If you have me on ever again, I will come in full cosplay.
Awesome. Maybe what we'll do, we'll bring you back around Halloween. And you can do something around Halloween. And of course, you also did It, which I saw It. That was really cool. You did Pennywise with that. So of course, we have a handful, but what are some of your favorites that you've done with the cosplaying type stuff?
So my friend and I did a Freddy Krueger and Nancy cosplay together, which I really, really loved. I did a solo one of me as Freddy, and then I was Nancy with the photo shoot with her. So that was definitely one of my favorites.
Nice.
I do a lot of like decade, like it's not really cosplay, but decade play. So I'd say one of my favorite shoots is definitely like whenever it's 60s style.
Okay.
But I did a Princess Aurora with my friend Christy Bish, who is another cam model, beautiful, amazing human being, where she was Maleficent and I was Sleeping Beauty, and that's actually what I dyed my hair for.
Nice. That's good shit. Have you ever contemplated on doing Victims on the Titanic cosplay? Like that would be great. Like you dress up like old school, like 1912, and there's water coming in and you're just like, like as like the boat's going down, you're just you're hanging off of a railing like all hot in like a 1912 as like the boat's like sinking down into the water. They just have a photo of you just hanging like boobs halfway out, just like look at the iceberg. Or you could be a sexy iceberg. That's the whole
Yes, I feel like a sexy iceberg speaks to me.
Yeah. And so it just sits there. You just get one of your friends yell, "Iceberg right ahead."
I'm going in.
So with those, with your cosplays, have there been any of those that were like, what was the most complicated one to get into, like that involved the most work that you would
Pennywise for sure. My makeup artist spent like 3 hours doing my
Really?
makeup
Holy
on
shit.
me. Yeah, no. Her name is Brianna Ruiz. She is absolutely amazing. I love everything I do with her, but it took hours for her to do that on me because she was so specific with it. I was really lucky to have a makeup artist that cared that much.
Nice. And that was awesome for anybody who hasn't seen it. Definitely find Dahlia and definitely find her Pennywise get up. It's amazing. Chef's kiss to that. And I do notice that on your table you have a Friday the 13th mug sitting next to you. So do you do like a lot of horror type stuff? Like, are you inspired by like a lot of horror type things when you do your cosplay? Or because of course there's Freddy on the other side of it, it looks like as well.
Yes, I was like, if I'm going to show one of them, I'm showing Freddy.
There's Freddy again, man. He gets the juice.
You should have been here for our Halloween Smasher Dash. Like, we do a segment, which we're going to do later, and it was a Halloween Smasher Dash where we had a bunch of iconic horror villains. And we were like, would you smash or would you dash? Michael Myers won that. We had the Friday the 13th Part 7 Jason without his mask in that. We had the Tall Man. We had Tar Man. We had all kinds of ones in that. But everybody has the hots for Michael Myers for some reason.
Really? I feel like there are so many other villains that I would rather have sex with, like Rasputin. I'm gonna go there really quick, immediately. I don't know if we were supposed to bring in cartoon characters.
No. That's a good one. That's a good one. So, and we're going to be doing actually momentarily in a little bit, we're going to be doing our Smasher Dash segment. And this one is Smasher Dash, the Bloody Face edition. We've had a lot of stars on recently that kind of worked around with like blood play and stuff like that. And I kind of find it intriguing. So I was like, let me do Smasher Dash, but with people with blood on their face and basically go, hey, would you or wouldn't you let this person mount you while they're completely covered in blood? And we debuted it last week. So actually what we'll do, we'll go ahead, we'll get into that now. We're going to go ahead and hop into our Smasher Dash segment, which is our Bloody Face edition. So let me just go ahead and get all this ready, and I'll show up 6 photos on the screen, and you tell me whether or not you would smash or whether or not you would dash. So let me just go ahead and get these ready, and we will pull these up here and we will rock and roll with Smasher Dash, the Bloody Face edition. So of course, the first one is none other than the one and only, the legendary, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. So okay, that was really quick. That was
so fast. So fast. I don't care. I'll smash like Ric Flair right now.
Wow. Damn.
So Ric Flair, is it like a Ric Flair like that, or like you ever notice that like Rick always gets like the blood in his hair to where it like makes his like blonde hair red? But like, is there like a time period Ric Flair? Like, would you do like kind of shambling corpse now Ric Flair? Because if you see him on AEW TV, he's kind of having a hard time getting around, or just Ric Flair in general.
But he gave us Charlotte.
Okay, that works. That works.
Like, you know, it's like Ric Flair stopped being as attractive just as like his daughter just rose up and was like, by the way, I'm like the hottest bitch on this.
So Dahlia will definitely take a ride on Space Mountain.
Yeah.
So there's the next one, the one and only Rick Grimes, which I would smash Rick Grimes. Like that's the whole thing. Of course, Rick with the whole blood on his face. I think this might have been after he bit the dude's throat out in season 4.
Are we doing it at that exact moment?
At that exact moment, yes.
Oh, I'm gonna pass.
You're gonna pass. Okay. So you don't want random bikers like throat residue on space.
There's so much blood like right in his mouth area. Like Ric Flair was at least like on the side of his face. Like I could dodge my way out of it. This I would have to kiss, be a part of. He also made a lot of decisions I didn't necessarily agree with. It's a lot of politics at play in this.
Well, Rick's is like dried up. Ric Flair, his was fresh. Like he was bleeding on the spot. You could like just kind of wipe that away, let it wipe that away. So, all right. So the next one is Uma Thurman from Kill Bill. So what about that? And she equipped with the sword and everything.
Smash. Who is passing that?
No. Even if she gets to stab me with the sword, I'm still smashing.
Yeah. That's the thing. Just cut me. If you want more blood, just make little slashes
Yeah.
with your sword. Like, just drive that thing into me. All right. And this, of course, and Jeff, I can't see the screen myself. What was this from again? It should say on there, I think it was what, Prince of Darkness or something like that.
It actually doesn't say it on there.
Okay. This was, I think
Wait,
this
it might.
was called Prince of Darkness. And I remember this scene. I don't remember the movie 100% or the title, but I remember watching her face actively fall off in the movie. So would this be a smash or would this be a dash?
I'm gonna dash. She looks like her name is Karen.
Karen gets
Yes.
no love tonight.
Poor Karen.
All right. What about the one and only Ash from the Evil Dead?
Come on, who's like obviously I'm gonna smash.
Yeah. Now, are you doing pre-chainsaw Ash or
No,
after-
if I get to pick any Ash, I'm doing Army of Darkness Ash.
Okay.
Wow. All right.
All right, cool. I feel like Army of Darkness is very, very underrated for what it was. Army of Darkness was amazing for the movie that they ended up with.
Yeah, it didn't make a ton of sense, but it didn't have to.
Best part.
None of them really had to make a lot of sense.
All right. And what about the one and only Bloody Face from American Horror Story, which, of course, if you've seen American Horror Story, you know this is just a mask. So you're doing him with the mask on, but a lot of people go, well, the actor that's underneath this, of course, he was in Heroes. I forget his name, but he was in Heroes. But what about Bloody Face from American Horror Story?
I want to pass.
Okay.
I just don't feel the love.
I mean, you can see it in his eyes, though. Like he's yearning for love. Like that's so that is our Smasher Dash Bloody Face edition. So Dahlia, of course, you're also, you do a lot of cosplay stuff, but you're also kind of, is it more so cosplay or is it more so you're in the adult industry? Like I know I've seen stuff with the adult industry. Like is it
More adult?
More adult? Okay. So with that, so what would you say are some of the most out there experiences that you think you've had in the adult industry? Like you just show up somewhere and you're like, what's happening? Why is this man completely covered in blood? What's going on here?
Every AVNs.
What's up?
I said every AVNs.
Really?
Wow.
Every ABN is that. It's like the convention.
Men are insane. I actually had a man last year. I got on an escalator and him and a group of friends got on an escalator behind me. And when I got off, he got off and yelled, I didn't even need to go to this floor. I just wanted to get on the escalator behind you. And then like went back down the floor.
I would have done that. Shout out to that guy. Whoever he is.
He didn't have to tell me. He didn't have
True.
to yell it to me.
True. Okay. True.
That was the thing. Like, I totally get it. Like that's we're all gawking. I'm gawking. I'm definitely looking at booties everywhere, but I am not yelling at anybody. This is why I got on the escalator.
Now, what if I just turned after I got off and said, thank you, and kept walking? Would that be a little better?
Yeah, I feel like maybe a little bit better.
Okay. Right. Let me write that down.
Have you ever had like at a convention or anything like that where you met somebody and you kind of like looked at them and you knew that the first thing they were going to do was go and jerk off in the bathroom immediately after meeting you?
No, I don't interact with people that much. Like I go to hang out with other models. I'm like the pervy girl who really shouldn't be allowed back there, but I am. I'm like, oh yeah, let me just turn on my cam back here and just back here. Oh, is that what you're wearing over there? Look at that booty.
That works.
So with those two, do you ever do like any of your cosplay stuff to any of those conventions or anything?
No, I don't because I am not very good at doing hair and makeup, so I need the help of somebody else, and I just haven't.
Your
I have,
DMs are
like,
about to explode.
I have like a friend here who does my hair and my makeup or like will help me with wigs and stuff. But when I go out there by myself, it's just kind of like me fending for myself.
And man, you got a little bit of everything going on. Like, of course, I saw like the cup with the horror stuff on it, and I noticed that when you scooted back a little bit better, the giant Snorlax you have behind you as well. And I'm like, man, like you have the dummy that's there too, and over on the right, is that one of those like tambourine monkeys over there? Like, what is that guy? Yeah, right there. What is that? It
That
looks like
one?
one of those-
Oh, he's just a mini Totoro.
Okay. Like I couldn't tell from here. He looked like one of those little like tambourine playing monkeys that were terrifying. So
No, he's just Totoro. This is also my ventriloquist dummy.
That's
Oh,
even scarier.
so wait, so can you actually like do ventriloquism with that?
No,
thing?
actually, my good friend Christy that I was talking about earlier, is the most talented ventriloquist you will ever meet. And I just hang out with them on my lap and I pretend that they talk to me. How I deal with it. I'm like, it's fine. I'm not a mother, so I'll just ventriloquist doll. How you doing today?
And I don't want to ask this because I know how people are and how they request things online. But have you ever like done a scene online with the ventriloquist dummy? And
No.
if you haven't, I can see someone now going, okay, look, you need your friend to come over. Look, how much money do we have to pay you on OnlyFans to have you sit there and undress while that dummy is telling you what to do? Like,
Oh, the dummy is just telling me what to do. I
Yeah,
would do
yeah.
that. I would do that absolutely. I would
Okay.
love to know that this ventriloquist doll could talk. At that point, I know that magic is in the world and the rules of the world are completely different.
that's the point. You just walk into that room one day with no clothes on, and the dummy just starts talking on its own, and that's all it took was just for you to just not have clothes on, and you're like, wait a minute, this thing really talks. And he's just like, yeah, it just I had no reason to talk before, now I have plenty of reason to talk now.
Took you long enough to get naked for me. Damn it.
And Dahlia, of course, this is the Happy Hour podcast. So is there any go-tos you have for drinking or anything like that?
Oh, I either drink very, very dirty martinis or I drink Fireball.
Oh,
Yes.
There's
Where is
no
it?
in between.
Fireball is a good one. I've had
Ah,
bad
see?
memories
Wait.
of Fireball. A lot of bad.
Oh,
Hey!
hers is bigger than mine.
There we go. And of course, this is a PodNation takeover episode. Of course, Stoner Jesus from the Stoner Jesus Show. He's joining us as well. Dahlia, do you mess around with the marijuana?
Oh, I smoke a lot.
Well, with that, I will
Oh,
pass.
yeah.
More than probably necessary. That's like most of what my cam is just people coming by and being like, oh, you're talking to your ventriloquist dummy again while you drink Fireball and take tokes.
That's the greatest videos ever.
Well, I mean,
Smoke to that.
yeah. I mean,
Right.
really, if you smoke enough and drink enough, that thing may just start talking. Like that's the whole.
Yeah,
Like, yeah. You
I
just,
want to believe in magic.
yeah, you just look at it and you're like, you son of a bitch, talk. Like, if you remember that one scene, what was it? It was one of the Child's Play movies, and they were trying to get him to do something, and like they were like, come on, do something, and then they started smacking the doll or something
Yeah.
like that, and it's just like, move, you son of a bitch, and it's like I could see that, like I
It's
feel
the first one, and the mom does it, and
yes, it's
then she goes to throw him into the fire, and that's when he freaks out and he
Yeah,
starts running
right.
around, and she's like, holy shit, this thing is real.
I mean, it makes me think also of what's it, Faces of Death with that little bamboo creature with the blade. Is that what it
I've never
faces?
seen Faces of Death.
Oh, the scene with the voodoo doll. Oh my God. Ugh, the scariest thing in movie history.
Or if you've ever seen Puppet Master, when the doll
Yes.
would pretend that they weren't like doing anything, and then all of a sudden the drill doll would come to life and fucking drill right through the side of your head or some fucking shit.
Oh,
I
Like-
have a knives, like a little replica of knives, and he's like this big.
that's
Nice.
gonna be awesome. Oh,
He's not hanging out here in the house. This is my work studio, so only
he's
like
probably hiding in another room.
You just go, wait a minute, didn't I put him down? So where did he go? Like, I don't know. Where is he? And he's just plotting your imminent death over in another part of the house. Like,
Oh
that,
my God.
we got to have Dahlia back for our Halloween episodes, because we do and Jeff has been here for all of our Halloween episodes, 100% Halloween like themed with everything that we do. So we definitely want to have you back for that. And what we're going to do is, we've been going over a list lately, and it's been 800 words for the penis, 800 nicknames for the penis. And we're in the letter H. So, Dahlia, we're going to continue on with some of these, and you let us know if you've heard of any of these names
okay.
for the penis. So, of course, okay. Actually, let's see, what were we on? So we ended last week with Jaime. So the first one, which goes into I, is iceberg, which kind of reminds me of what we were talking about with the Titanic stuff. Have you ever heard anybody consider their dick an iceberg?
No, but I feel like that has been used in Twilight fan fiction.
Okay.
For
that
like
makes sense.
Edward's dick, because he's like a vampire and so cold.
Yeah. Okay.
So I haven't heard it, but I bet you that exists.
Okay,
all
that
right.
makes sense. And then the next one is Indiana Bones. Indiana Bones. Have you ever heard of Indiana Bones?
No, but I'm gonna write that down in my phone, and I'm gonna use that on men all over the place.
All right.
Good.
Just
she's
with my
got the
Indiana-
hat. She's got the hat and the whips. So
Yeah.
she's at.
You should dress up like Indiana Jones and just beat somebody until they have an
Yes.
Indiana Bones.
I really want to recreate the Marion Ravenclaw scene, like the very first one you see where she's taking like the shots against the other person, and she's wearing
Yeah.
that brown pantsuit outfit.
Nice. And
I'm
then the next one is Jack in the Box. So Jack in the Box. So I guess maybe after enough cranks, Jack pops out the box. So Jack in the Box. Have you ever heard of
makes
Jack in the Box?
No, I've never heard that, but it makes sense.
And then after that,
does the music have to play? Did it?
yes, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, you get that. Dun 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 dun. All right. After that is Jack's Magic Beanstalk. Jack's Magic Beanstalk.
No, I've never heard that one.
You want to climb my beanstalk tonight, baby? It's just like, wait, what? Like, what's happening here? What is
That sounds like a really that sounds like something that would happen during like in between a couple that's really into Disney.
that? Makes sense. That makes sense.
Like
I
a
think-
very heavy Disney couple. Like, you know, those couples that just go to Disney on a regular basis just to have
Oh
like,
yeah,
Yeah.
together.
yeah, and
Yeah.
they like have like the what is it, like the collection of Mickey Mouse ears or whatever,
Yeah.
like hanging on their walls. What I think they're called, what is it, Disney adults or something like that, I think. So I think a regular Disney adult would have that. So the next one is the jackhammer. The jackhammer. So
Yes,
Well-
I've heard that before.
yeah, we all know the sexual position jackhammer, but I wonder if someone actually sits there and tries to, like, pull cord.
No, I've heard guys call their dick jackhammer.
Okay. All right. Shit. All right. I wonder if anybody knows, of course, WWE, Ric Flair. So I wonder if Goldberg has ever called his dick the jackhammer, because that was his trademark maneuver, the jackhammer. So he's just, you're next.
Probably.
My
You're
fault.
going to get my jackhammer. All right. So let's see. Next after jackhammer is Jammy, the Jammy.
Oh, well, that just sounds like what every woman calls a penis.
Can you get your jammy away from me? Like, come on. No, I'm not in the mood for your jammy tonight.
Jamie.
Okay.
I'm so using that from now on.
This one is very strange, but I like it. The next one is janitor in the hallway. The janitor in the hallway.
That sounds so inappropriate, and I don't know why.
It does.
It sounds wrong. Just like let's not use that again, but I don't know why.
Yeah. It's like all right, unzip my pants and release my janitor in the hallway. You just kind of freeze like, I don't say that again.
That would ruin.
Now I'm aroused.
I wrote it down, then I don't get it. Like I'm looking at it.
Next after that is Jabba. Jabba.
Jabba with two B's, like Jabba the Hutt.
Java, like that app that used to
Oh.
always pop up on the computer back in the 90s. Java.
It's like
No, I've never heard that.
And then after
weird.
that is javelin. A javelin.
Yes, that
Okay.
I've heard is like a joke because I had one of my stepsisters was really heavy into sports.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Javelin. And then after that, so we got two more. Javelin, the jawbreaker. I'm going to give you the jawbreaker.
That sounds like a way to talk yourself out of getting a blowjob.
yeah. We're crossing that one out.
You want to not get a blowjob tonight? Call it the jawbreaker. Like, come on.
Yes, exactly.
And that one's gone. I'm Xing that off the list.
And then the last one, number 216 out of the 800 terms for the penis, which will conclude this episode and continue on in the next episode, is Jedi. The Jedi.
I like that.
No, I have never heard that.
So you've never experienced the Jedi penis, the Jedi mind penis, the Jedi mind trick of the penis.
Unfortunately, I
There's the
have
penis.
not.
And Dahlia, what kind of porn injuries have you sustained, if you've sustained any at all?
Oh, there was this one time that I was dressed up like a dinosaur dancing on top of a futon and it broke and I fell backwards and injured myself.
This is a lot to unpack, but it's one of the most awesome things I've ever heard. So
yeah.
dancing like a dinosaur. So when you say dinosaur, is it like one of those like inflatable dinosaur costumes?
No, this was way back in the day. It was a Higurami. This is, before that became very popular. And I was dancing around on top of a futon and it broke. And I fell backwards and I injured myself. And none of the questions you ask me are going to be like remotely sexual.
You know what?
My
That's
career is so fucked.
We're
That- no,
flexible.
that's the thing is I tell people all the time, when you come onto this show, you could end up not talking about sex at all. We're just we're hanging out and we're having a good time, and whatever comes up type show. And that's what I like about it, is that we're live, it's organic. I don't take notes. It is what it is. So
I'm just sitting here playing with my Jedi.
yeah. He's just letting his jawbreaker just do whatever it does. So, but like, I am one of those inflatable. You ever see like the inflatable dinosaur costumes? Like, they got like really popular. Like, therefore,
Yeah.
and I got one of those. And let me tell you, those fucking costumes, I wore that bitch for 15 minutes. And I would rather do that over a sauna, because I took that bitch off and I was literally 2 pounds lighter from
my
fucking
God.
sweating in that thing. And you can't eat, you can't drink. Like, you're walking around. I have a long tail. My dogs are fucking brutally fucking attacking me in this fucking costume in Halloween. So
I can see that.
would you do any scenes with like an inflatable dinosaur or something?
Yeah, I would totally do that. I mean, it probably wouldn't be a sexual scene. I would do a sexy, artsy sort of dinosaur scene.
What if it's like a bunch of dinosaurs in like an inflatable costume? Like, you know how there's like these videos trending of like people doing these like little like mashed potato mountains, and they have like broccoli as trees, and it's like the dino nuggets, and it's like welcome to Jurassic Park, and they pour the gravy down the volcano. What if it's like a bunch of guys and hear me out. What if it's a bunch of guys in a bunch of inflatable dinosaur costumes, and they have like a funnel or an ice luge, and they just end up coming in that thing, and it just comes down like the volcano, and it's the whole welcome to Jurassic Park type thing as it just comes down.
I would direct that video.
You're like, I would direct, but I would
I would
not
direct that video, and I would find somebody who was super into that and would be so excited.
Nice.
Let's go.
And of course, with you being in the industry, it and I know he's gonna ask it. Jason in our feed, there's one thing he always, let me see if he's asked it yet. I haven't checked on the feed in God knows how long. So let me look at the feed. So of course, okay, so Jason hasn't asked it yet. So I'm gonna jump to conclusions and ask it anyways. Have you ever done anything with pee? Because I know it's coming before the show ends. I know Jason's gonna ask it. Have you ever done anything with pee? Because that's his favorite thing to ask.
Oh yeah, I have a ton of pee content up on my like many vids page.
Like Jason is now like this on.
Yeah, there's tons of pee stuff. I made the coolest Scooby Doo. It was me and another girl. I played Velma and she played Daphne, and we pretended that we were escaping a monster, and that
Was
we
it
got
like a
this
pee monster? It's
Yeah.
like old school Scooby Doo. It's like a bag full, like a monster that just pees everywhere. You're like, oh no, Daphne, we need to get out of here. Oh God, like
Velma is the greatest cosplay ever.
it is.
I
And
love it.
Velma is a great, very underrated
Yes.
character. And then you see the cosplay on Velma, and you're just kind of like, yeah, I'm geared up for this. And of course, Stoner, you're here too. Is there anything you have off the top of your mind that you want to ask Dahlia?
Just like on my show, I talk a lot about cannabis, obviously, as you can see. I'm not very subtle about my love of weed.
No, we would have never have thought that.
Kind of what now?
It wasn't enough. I gotta put this hat on too. Dahlia, if I ask you about the highest you've ever been, is there like a specific incident or event that comes to mind?
Oh, the first time I did dabs.
Ooh.
It was an old school when they did them with glass with like the metal, and they used propane tank. And I was sitting in the back of a car, and I had never done this. And I leaned over, and the metal piece fell out, and I was wearing a jacket at the moment. And it was just open enough where it like caught on it, but I knew if I leaned back that it was gonna hit me, and it was like burning through the jacket, and I was like, it's gonna land on my feet. So I just start screaming at my friends sitting in the front seats, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And I just kept repeating it, and my friend had to get out and like open the car and like help like unzip it for me, because it like completely burned through. It was the scariest experience for me, but I was also so fucking high. Like I had done like 2 dabs prior to that. So this was just, I had no part of me could figure out how to fix this situation. I was like, I'm going to set fire to my skin and like, you know, scar myself with this fucking metal thing.
Oh my God.
But I didn't. It ruined a jacket, but my friend helped me.
Yeah, there'll be many jackets, but only one you.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't mess with a torch. I can't, especially if I'm really high. I want to have fire, or I mean, like I'll have a lighter, and that's about it. But messing with a torch, I know I'm going to burn something off, and it might be something important. So I don't want to do that.
I can't do dabs anymore. It's just too much. I do my little vapies, and then I'll smoke my little joinies.
Joinies and babies.
I have some really cute bongs. Like one is Gremlins, and one is Labyrinth, and one is Stranger Things.
This is Rick.
Oh,
I love it.
I have a Rick and Morty bong, but it looks different. It's just got one side.
I kind of want to smoke with you though. Join these and like nice and cute.
Oh, Trailer Park Boys.
Oh, nice. That's a nice.
Yes. That's
Like it.
super cool.
Mine are all inside the house.
This
This is the office.
That's why I appreciate having Stoner G as us here. My old co-host Matt, he was the stoner of the group. Myself, the only vice I've ever had is drinking. So I like having Stoner Jesus here because he can ask all of the weed, smoking type, questions and all that stuff a lot better, fielding it a lot better than I can because I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about when it comes to that kind of stuff. So
I just know it's delicious.
Yeah.
That's all I can give you.
With that, on the other side, what's the drunkest you've ever been? Because I know Stoner Jesus said he can't mess around with torches. Like he needs to just use a lighter. Like I can't mess around with fire in general if I've drank too much because bad shit happens when fire is in the equation when I've drank way too much.
I can't say, it would have to be one of those like sometime when I was probably like 22 or 23 and had some crazy time, but I'm not a huge drinker. Like now to loosen up a little bit, like I had the one shot earlier and it's in my pinhead shot glass.
Oh, Pinhead. Bring that in closer. I got to see that.
Pinhead was
I need it.
Yeah, Pinhead was on our Smash or Dash, the Halloween edition, and also we've had Doug Bradley on the show. He's super cool. So Doug Bradley was the man, like when we had him on the show. So we sat there and we went through a whole like conversation about the character Deep Throat, and we asked Doug Bradley. We're like, one, do you think Pinhead has pins on his dick along with the pins on his head? And also, would Deep Throat be like, would he fuck the hole in Deep Throat's throat? Like, would Deep Throat the dick and then it would like come out of the hole in her throat? And he basically said how like they basically didn't consider her Deep Throat in the movie, but everybody on set and kind of in the whole fan fiction considered her Deep Throat. That's what she was. So yeah. But no, awesome guys. So what we're going to do, we're going to get into our segment. It's called AI Insane. So pretty much I go and I find some insane generated AI images and I'm going to put them up on the screen and we are going to talk about what's going on in these images. I know these ones that are about to get pulled up are basically Thomas the Tank going absolutely insane. So I'm going to pull these up and then we're going to comment on these of Thomas the Tank going completely insane. So let me just get these ready and I will pull these up on here. So this is this week's AI Insane, Thomas the Tank going absolutely crazy. So this is the first image of Thomas the Tank going insane. So I don't know, I don't know what it is. Like this guy is like just like he's not even on the tracks. Like this guy's just screaming his lungs out. And like it's always weird how like AI always like it can't duplicate eyes properly. So like people just have like whole like kind of like soulless eyes. Yeah. And then it goes on to that one. I don't know what this is. Like I don't know what the affinity is. Did they put like Thomas the Tank and Indian people? Like I don't understand why it
looks that way.
Yeah, like this is almost like the human centipede of him running people down, and this is like things that you see. This is like the Thomas the Tank horror movie, and oh god,
oh Jesus,
like this looks like the Blob. Like, have you ever seen like the 1980s Blob, where like he's sitting and like he has these weird human teeth, which is just absolutely horrifying.
His face looks like Sloppy Joe's or something.
And then you have this one.
Reminded me of Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Oh yeah, that game was the best. I don't know how many times I would drop complaining guests into the water just because they were complaining, or I would spend 5 hours building a roller coaster and not finish it and let them all just plunge to their deaths, flying off the end of it.
I still play Sims, so that's basically as close as you can get.
Nice. My wife, she just downloaded that on a PlayStation.
It's making a comeback.
I messed
Yeah.
around with that, and I want to so bad.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
but it's all about them mods, and you can only use the mods on the computer.
Oh my god, the mods are
Wow.
insane for games like that, especially like Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption. God, the mods are completely insane for those. So there's another one of Thomas just, and then there's wait, so it looks like he's actually not as angry. So is he doing this for the like that's strawberry? So wait, so is he like? So I guess this one is
Are
he
they just
feeding-
eating strawberries in this one?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I feel like he's
Yeah,
not.
because there's strawberries all around him.
Yeah, so he's killing the adults, but he's feeding the children strawberries. So I guess if they don't have a food processor, he's like, "Look, I got this.
Ah.
Let me just run these strawberries over, and you can just eat them off the front of the train."
The
Like,
kids,
all right,
the
and
kid
then-
looks like, oh Jesus.
Oh Jesus Christ! like this kid is like deep into the strawberry. Like we know it's the strawberries because we saw the strawberries before, but he's safe. Like Thomas is just gonna keep on rolling along his way. Like he's gonna like. I feel like this is the kind of thing, like almost like Jason Voorhees. He doesn't kill children. Like it's just his anger is directed towards adults.
I don't know. Thomas looks terrified of this kid. And of this kid.
Yeah, and then this child as well. Like I feel like he's terrified of children.
It's a teeth thing.
Yeah, it is a teeth thing, definitely. Now it's starting to look more like either salsa or tomato sauce.
Yeah.
I'm lost here.
And then there's this one,
Once
which
again, it's a teeth.
There's those teeth. Yeah.
like I wonder what people type in with this. Like if they're typing in Indian teeth, Thomas the Train, strawberries.
Bad gums.
I'm intrigued to see what comes into a lot of these images. And then there's this one, which he looks up, but he's not running anybody over. This guy kind of, I don't know what's going on right there with this guy, but like I'm
Two
guessing
guys here got like the same
strawberries are killing-
face.
Oh God, this guy's like the the famous screaming painting. He looks
Yes.
like that famous like screaming ghost painting. It's like so there's that, and then there's this one, which that looks like a Disney character kid. Like
Yeah,
Awesome.
it does. Pixar. More Pixar than Disney.
Okay.
what's the girl from Wreck-It Ralph? What the hell is her name? Looks a little bit like her. So all right, so there's that one, and then oh God, okay, maybe he does run children over. I'm not sure.
Look at his
What?
face.
What? This is like
Oh,
red
this is-
cocaine. Like
Oh,
that.
Me and
Like
people.
this
Zombie
kid
shit.
is.
yeah, that's some zombie shit. Or oh my God.
And then there is that one, which this kid is swimming in that strawberry, and then
Oh, Jesus.
oh God,
Oh,
Jesus,
I'm scared from here.
oh God, like. And that
Dude's
is
got 2 layers of bottom teeth.
the last one of AI insane. Thomas the Train loses his fucking mind. So that's what it was titled. Thomas the Tank loses his fucking mind. So what we're gonna do, Dahlia, do you still have a little bit of time to hang out for a little bit? All right, cool. So what we're gonna do is we play some ads here on the show. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a quick like 3.5 minute break. Anybody wants to hop up, grab yourself another bong hit, grab yourself a drink, use the bathroom. We're going to take a quick 3-minute break right here on YouTube Live. And when we come back, we're going to get into our game segment, Ode to Humanity. So coming off of that, we'll get into our game segment. So, of course, this is the Happy Hour podcast. We are here live on YouTube Live. We'll be back in about 3 minutes right here on the Happy Hour podcast.
Hi, this is Rob Benton with Sexual World Records, and you're watching the Happy Hour podcast.
Derek Sharp, the owner of Curtain Jerker Designs, who does an amazing job. I'm blown away every single time, and his speed that he has getting everything back to us is immaculate.
Hit up Derek with Curtain Jerker Design.
Look no further than Curtain Jerker Designs. Make sure you hit up Derek.
Derek Sharp, man. Hey, just want to say thank you for the posters, all the hard work you put into, man. We really appreciate you, man.
A shout out to Derek Sharp from Curtain Jerker Designs. Yo, dude, just want to say, this poster, off the hook.
Hey, what's up, players? This is Hall of Famer Teddy Long, and I want to give a big shout out to my man Derek over there with Curtain Jerkers Designs.
If you are looking for the best graphics, the best designs, look up Curtain Jerker. I did.
Curtain Jerker Designs. That's who I use for any of my graphic designs, and you should too.
Thanks, Curtain Jerker Designs.
Big old shout out to Curtain Jerker Designs. You see that? You see that beauty? That's all you, Curtain Jerker.
Hello, wrestling promoters. The Big Valboski wants to give you a big tip. If you're looking for a graphic designer to do your next events, promotional posters, hit up Derek at Curtain Jerker Designs.
A lifelong wrestling fan, as we all are. I went through the part with the reffing, and I got to a part where I did ring announcing. I did everything there was to do. I had a match. But because I have that background, that's where I stepped in and said, hey, like, I do flyers. Let me help you guys out.
The last time I was here, me and my stepmom Carmela kind of had a thing going on. Right?
I can't blame you. She's honestly hot as fuck.
Remember, before we go inside, don't act weird or anything. Oh, sweet home. Carmela!
I miss you so much.
You must be doing something.
You're so nasty. When am I gonna see you? When are you gonna come down? Today would have been perfect to have the house to myself.
Let's go spy on her?
Yeah, I hope she's naked. I miss you so much.
Let's go catch her in the act. Well. I bet it's not even my dad, is it?
Just don't tell your father. What are we gonna do anyways?
I am J.R. Cruz, and
I'm Jasmine Cruz,
and you're watching the Happy Hour podcast.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Happy Hour podcast. Of course, we're here live on YouTube Live. And for those of you who aren't joining us live, we're also here on Roku and Fire TV on PodNation TV. Of course, that's where you can also find the Stoner Jesus show. And once Jeff figures out the app, the Yo show. So this is our PodNation TV takeover episode. Of course, we're going to be doing another one this coming Tuesday as well. So we're going to get ready to get into our game segment. So we have a handful of games that we play with all of our guests. The first one is called Extreme Personal Question. So there's two random questions on the card, question A and question B, and you don't know which one you're going to get until you choose A or B. It's kind of like a roulette type thing. So what do you think is luckier, question A or question B?
I'll go with B.
B. All right. So question B, what would you ask dead relatives during a seance? What would you ask dead relatives during a seance?
Where the money is?
Where's the money, you son of a bitch? I like that. So now for question A, you get to now choose myself, Jeff, or Stoner Jesus to answer question A.
Let's go with Stoner Jesus.
All right, Stoner Jesus. If you could tell someone off right now, who would it be and why did you select this person?
I'm a very chill guy. So I don't have a lot of enemies. I guess I have to go back. I don't know, many years. I was, for lack of a better term, I guess, bullied a lot in high school. And before I got this, badass personality, and people left me alone. But in any case, before that, um, I don't even remember the names of these dudes, but like, I wouldn't necessarily tell them off, but I would show them, like, look at me, man. I'm fucking Stoner Jesus now. I have my awesome show. I have my legions of fans. You're probably like, jerking off in your mom's basement or whatever. I'm a cool guy and you suck. That's what I would say.
And Stoner Jesus, I cheers you to that, because that's 100%. I was the same way. I was bullied a lot, and then I ended up becoming a professional wrestler for 20 plus years. Never ended up in a fight again past high school once I became a pro wrestler, and now I'm doing this and been able to do so many cool things. Been in movies, done all kinds of various different cool things. So fuck those people, like plain and simple. And I get to
AVN nominated.
Your sign's upside down, Jeff.
Yes, it is.
Yes, that's right. Go vote for us for the AVN's Best Adult Podcast. Voting closes on the 26th. Make sure you vote for us. 2-time nominated AVN Best Adult Podcast. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into Never Have I Ever. So Never Have I Ever. It's 3 random cards drawn out of the deck. If you've done it, take a drink, take a hit, and if you want to give an explanation, you can. If not, we will not hate you for it. So, let's see. The first one is, never have I ever taken cough syrup to get high. Never have I ever taken cough syrup to get high.
I've known people who've done that, but I've never done that.
All right, Jeff. So you drank. And did Dahlia drink as well? Like I saw Jeff taking a drink. So Jeff,
Dahlia's still drinking.
Dahlia's like, I'm just drinking to drink. So Jeff, you took cough syrup to get high.
Yes.
What kind of cough syrup did you drink, and how high did you get off of said cough syrup?
It was NyQuil, and it's going to sound dumb to say this, but I had a little bit of an addiction to NyQuil. Like, I wanted to get goofy, I wanted to get tired, I wanted to have a buzz, and for like a month or 2 straight, I would drink NyQuil around 9 o'clock at night. Get that weird.
I'm gonna drink my booze right now. Just pour the
back
shot.
off. Who's drinking NyQuil?
Yeah, I'd rather drink shots of that Bacardi than take shots of NyQuil. Like, you line up shots of Bacardi and shots of NyQuil, I'm taking the Bacardi, because medicine is terrible.
Wait a minute, you get the cherry kind, my friend. There's no issue. Talking to a pro, damn it.
I remember taking Coricidrin, cough and cold, before they fixed the.
Oh yeah.
Just taking 10 of those fucking pills and tripping balls.
And if I may, back in the day, Jägermeister was German cough syrup. So I mean,
yes.
So,
some of the wildest nights I've ever had in my entire life was because of Jaeger.
Oh, that
Jaeger
shit. Oh my God.
100%
Yeah.
took to fucking cloud 9 whenever I would drink Jaeger. So
that shit should be banned. It's bad news. Bad news.
All right. So never have I ever had sex with someone whose name I couldn't remember. Never have I ever had sex with someone's name I could not remember. All right. So that is pretty much Dahlia. Okay. I thought that was the odd woman out there for a second. So we're going to start with Stoner. Stoner, you don't have to get too in depth with it. So is there anything right offhand with someone? Was it an awkward situation, or was it just, hey, we hooked up and that was it?
It was, I'm sure there was a time when I remembered her name, because it was so long ago. It was between the ages of 17 and 21. I pretty much did all of my drinking, like 90% of my drinking I did between 17 and 21.
Okay.
And I would tend to and there was some blackout situations with some Southern Comfort, another time with some Sunny Delight and some, and that time, actually, the next day I threw up so hard that I busted a blood vessel in my eye.
Oh,
I
my
had so
friends
much.
have done that before.
But yeah, between the blacking out and the time that has passed, some names have slipped my mind.
Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. Jeff Porrini, what about you, my dude? I saw that you drank as well.
I just hope this person never sees this, but years back in my single days, I had this girl, she lived 3 hours away and she was a friend of a friend. And we started talking on Facebook. And one night she's like, dude, I don't know what you got planned. I'm driving down and I'm bringing booze and we're having a good time. She drove 3 hours from, I don't need to say the city because the city would give it away. But she drove down for 3 hours. We drank tons of vodka and lemonade, smoked some weed. She would make noises. She was like, like for me to put it in her mouth and everything. I don't remember. And that night, I could not remember her name to save my life. I called her Doggy. I called her Baby. I called her Bad Girl. I couldn't think of her fucking name the entire time.
Dahlia, what about you?
I've just forgotten their names over the years.
That makes sense.
All right.
I knew them at the time.
Mine is, of course, 20 years worth of pro wrestling. We used to, and I've said this on the show a handful of times, we used to book our wrestling shows around some of the favorite strip clubs that we liked. So we would book a wrestling show, myself, my tag team partner Blood, and shout out to Psycrotes, who just passed away on Saturday. We're going to get into a lot of those stories on February 3rd when we do the Psycrotes tribute episode. But we would book shows around strip clubs, and a lot of these strip clubs were open until 4 a.m. And there was one that we went to where it was 25-cent draft beers for an hour.
Oh my
We would
God.
go up and we would each put a 20 down. We'd be like, how many does this get?
Kill
Give
me.
us that many. And we did that twice. So yeah, there were times where, you have wrestlers in there and all that, and you would hear names. Most of the time it wasn't their real names. And my CTE riddled brain, like, I'm not remembering names like that anyways. I'm lucky I remember my own name compared to names like that. So
Ray.
All right. So the last one. Never have I ever been worried that I was going to die after taking drugs.
Like, who isn't worried? Everybody should be worried. If you're not worried, you should be worried.
Well, how about I add an extra layer to that? Like,
Okay.
I don't really do a lot of drugs, but I have been at the point where I drank so much dark liquor, I thought my heart was going to stop beating. And that dark liquor, of course, was Jaeger, because I went through like a whole handle of Jaeger myself in one night, and I thought I was going to die. And also, there was a lot of fire and theft and all kinds of other stuff that I cannot disclose on the show that was involved with that night. So I'm going to say, was there a certain drug that you took that more specifically you thought you were going to die after taking?
Ecstasy.
Oh.
Fuck that. Anytime you took like ecstasy or Molly or any of the variations of it, you felt like you were going to die the next day. Even when we told each other, like, no, it's not that bad, it was always that bad.
Stoner Jesus, what about you, my man?
Yeah, mine was, I was probably about 17 or 18. I don't know if anybody remembers this or even knows what it is, but it was a pill called mescaline. I don't know if it's still around, but I snorted it. And it was the only time I ever snorted anything in my life. And for like 2 hours, my nose just burned. It felt like it was on fire. And at some point, I became convinced that it was going to burn a hole from one nostril to the other. And I figured when that happened, that was it. My brain just started falling out. I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen. But I worked 2 hours that a hole was going to be burned and like my nostrils were going to like fuse into one. And then after that, I figured I had all kinds of like fucked up doomsday scenarios in my head about what would happen from that.
Jeff, what about you, man?
I don't even want to tell mine. It's so lame, but it was like the first date with my wife, and she came over to my house, and I smoked a lot of weed, which at the time I kind of took a break from it. I smoked a lot of weed, and I swore my blood pressure was just dropping. She's like, I'm going to be a nurse. Let me check, which she is now a great nurse. Back then, she was in school, and she's checking me. She's like, oh my God, your heart rate's bad. This is bad. That's bad. I'm like, I'm not going to the hospital. I'm just going to die right here. I mean, I can't. Yeah, hi. Not feeling good. Smoked a bunch of weed, trying to get laid by this girl I just met. So, yeah, no hospital.
Nice. And so what we're going to do now is, Dahlia, we're going to get into one of our staple games that we have here on the HHPod, and that is Incoherent. So Incoherent, of course, for any of you guys tuning in, this June, we will be doing our 3rd annual HHPod Rumble. For anybody new that's viewing the show, the HHPod Rumble is when we invite back 30 friends, 30 guests of the show, and we do a Royal Rumble style elimination game playing Incoherent.
It's awesome.
The last person standing gets sent out a custom-made legitimate championship belt that I will pay for and send out to the winner. Of course, shout out to Johnny Goodluck, who won in 2022, and Jupiter Jetson, who won in 2023. If you see Jupiter at AVN, she will have the HHPod Rumble Championship with her at the AVN. So find her and pose with the belt and get a photo. So what I'm going to do is, Dahlia, I'm going to show a series of cards up on the screen, and they are going to be in drunken lingo. And you're going to need to sound these out and tell me what these cards say. So one of two things is going to happen. You're either going to get them immediately or your brain's going to shut down. So that's one of the two things that normally happens with this game. And of course, Stoner Jesus and Jeff can also help you if you need help. And this is actually Stoner Jesus' first time probably seeing this game as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the first card. What do you think this first card says?
That hurt, right? But no, that wasn't.
No.
Do I just get one guess or multiple guesses?
No, multiple guesses.
Keep going.
Oh. Right. Might. Tinder date?
Yeah.
It is Tinder date. That is correct. It is Tinder date. Awesome. That was good for first try. So Tinder date. So here, let me look real quick. Where did for some reason Tinder date was there, but for some reason the cards that I have here are not matching the cards that I have in front of me. So this is what happens when you go live. Tinder date was one of them, but some of these other cards, I don't know where some of these other cards came from because these are not the ones that are matching right here. So let me real quick. So why aren't these ones on here? And why are these ones different? So let me hit that real quick and then we'll come back into this. So yeah, so these are different. So real quick, let me just hit these real quick and then we'll come back into this because for some reason, some of these cards, Tinder date, I was able to figure that one out myself. So I knew that was Tinder date, but for some reason, these cards are not matching. I guess maybe these were cards from another time. I don't know, but let me just hit these real quick and then I'll get these up on the screen. As I said, I apologize. This is what happens when you do a live show and the errors that come along with it and have to adjust along with it. So there's that. So these are here. So what do you think these next to say? So why is, oh, you know what? I got it. I'm under the wrong profile. That's why, as I said, when you do stuff live, this is what happens. So here is the next card. So now that I'm under my happy hour profile, not my personal profile, what do you think this one says?
Mother had the hoove ugh. Moth air hide lie hoove ugh. Moth air. Mother hide. Moth air hide lie oov ugh. I can't. I literally.
One of the hints is when Stacy's mom has got it going on.
Mother has it going on.
What about you, Stoner? Do you have it? Do you have any idea what this could be?
Is it MILF? Is it mother who I like to fuck?
It is mother I'd like to fuck. was it right there. Yeah, mother, I'd like to fuck. So that was
Just to be fair, that's the most
originally the
questions.
original first one. So what do you guys think this one is? This one is the only double D's that you can let in your car.
The only double D's in my car.
The only double D's who will let you in their car. And a lot of times when you're drinking,
second ate it right for
Uber or Lyft could be this when you're leaving the bar.
Expensive.
Oh, is it? Isn't he a driver?
It is designated driver. Yes.
Wow, man.
All right. So let me move.
that. I don't see that at all. My brain is
Designated driver. All right. So what do you think this one is?
Slide munch hinge. Lid munch hinge.
One of the hints is a carbon crisis, and then it says a hoax for people who don't believe in scientific facts.
The toughie.
Nope.
And I finished 5th in this damn thing last year.
Jeff or Stoner, do either of you guys know what this is?
No idea.
This one is climate change. Climate.
Oh man.
So
you know, Liz, they're so non-perverted this time.
The fuck is drunk talking about climate change?
Right?
That is
if you pronounce climate change in that tone,
you're drunk as shit.
That is a bad. That's some of these other ones were pretty easy. Like Tinder date was easy because that was one that when I was on my other profile, I'm like, why doesn't this match these cards I have? And I was like, fuck, I'm under the wrong profile, but I was able to figure that out myself. So of course, for those of you, make sure you tune back in June. We will be doing the HHPod Rumble. We will be playing that game, and each person that is associated in the Rumble in the first round will have 30 seconds to answer the card with one hint and one save. And then every round after that will be 15 seconds, and we will keep going until we have one last person standing, and they will be the 2024 HHPod Rumble champion, and we'll get sent out a custom championship belt that we will send out to them. Stoner Jesus, if you want to take part, you're more than welcome. Dahlia, if you want to take part, feel free. And of course, Jeff, I know you'll probably be here for that.
Oh, God, yeah.
So, of course, this is our Ode to Humanity segment. So we end this segment with Cards Against Humanity. Have you played Cards Against Humanity?
yes.
Okay, so obviously we
I have
can't
not.
have the deck of cards in front
Really?
of you.
Stunner. Jesus.
Kind of like the first game. This is roulette style. So what we're going to do is we're going to read off the face card, and then you're going to choose a number between 1 and 6 or 1 and 8 to randomly answer that card. If you don't like it, you get 2 rebuttals. So the first one actually has 2 answers. So Dahlia, you're going to give us a number, and then we'll have Stoner Jesus, which this is his first time guest co-hosting on here, and choose the second card. So the first one is the patient presents with blank with a likely result of blank. Our patient presents us with blank with a likely result of blank. Dahlia, number 1 through 8.
7.
7. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So, all right. Okay. What about you, Stoner?
4.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So our patient presents us with a sweaty, panting leather daddy, likely a result of 10 incredible facts about the anus. So, are you guys satisfied with the cards that you drew, or do you want to use a rebuttal and choose a different card?
Feel like those work together.
All right, so we're both gonna hold for those.
Sure.
All right.
Anus.
So those are out, and then these cards will go into the next episode. So here's the next one. So, I'm sorry, sir, but we don't allow blank at the country club. So Dahlia, this one's just you, 1 through 6. What do you think?
7.
7. All right, you're sticking good with 7. So, all right, so 7. I'm sorry, sir, but we don't allow breaking out into song and dance at the country club. So, are you satisfied with that, or do you want to rebuttal and choose another?
Rebuttal.
All right, so what number now?
3.
3. 1, 2, 3. All right, so we're sorry, sir, but we don't allow Hurricane Katrina at the country club. And now you have one last rebuttal. Do you want to use that, or do you want to hold with Hurricane Katrina?
No, rebuttal.
All right, what number now?
5.
5. All right. Well, we have 4 cards left, so 1 through 4.
Oh, sorry, 3.
3. All right. So, I'm sorry, sir, but we don't allow maximal insertion at the country club.
I will have to stay with that.
All right. So that is our Ode to Humanity segment. That concludes our game segment, guys. Thank you for taking part in our game segment. So, Dahlia, do you have any like interesting cosplays coming up, or is there anything that you really, really want to do that you haven't been able to do?
I think that I'm going to do another Winter Belle. I did a Winter Belle and I don't think it turned out quite as perfect as it could. So I think I'm going to try and do that again. And I also kind of want to do Sleeping Beauty again.
Ooh, Sleeping Beauty is a fun one.
I'm a player.
Now, how much out of Disney have you done? Like with Disney, like how many characters out of Disney could you think right off?
Oh, only a few.
Only a few. Are there any out of Disney that you would really, really like to do?
Well, I'm really excited about doing Sleeping Beauty again, but doing an actual like photo shoot and everything around it.
Nice. What you should do, have you ever seen, I'm trying to remember if it was the first one or the second one, Return of the Living Dead?
I saw it when I was very, very young.
Well, in one of those, it was 1 or 2. There was a naked zombie that walked around the entire movie, and she had her hair completely red, and she like you would have to like make your body entirely like white, but she walked around the entire movie just naked. You should do that. Or I think it was Return of the Living Dead 4. There was a chick that had like glass and like all this stuff coming out of her like arms and all that stuff.
I kind of want to do what's her name from The Birds?
Oh yeah, what? Oh God, what? Trying to remember. God, my horror / CTE are clashing. Like I know who you're talking.
Tippi Hedren?
What is it?
I think that's right. Tippi Hedren. Tippi
Hedren.
Yes.
So Tippi Hedren.
Pretty sure. I'm gonna just
yeah.
Tippi Hedren. All right, so let's see.
She was in a lot.
Yes, great call. Tippi Hedren. Awesome call.
Tippi Hedren, The Birds. All right, so Tippi Hedren, The Birds.
Hedren.
Okay. Okay, I see what you mean now. So for anybody at home, Tippi Hedren from The Birds. So I'm just gonna pull this up real quick. So this is what I came up with Tippi Hedren for The Birds. So that right there. So basically, Tippi Hedren, you want to do. Is there a certain part of Tippi Hedren from The Birds, or do you just want to do?
I'm pulling up an example, something along these lines.
Oh, okay, that's really cool.
I like that. It's a good one.
That's super cool. That's super cool. What about you, Stoner Jesus cosplay? Is there anything you can think off the top of your head that Dahlia should do as a cosplay?
Not really. Like nothing comes to mind. Like anything. I mean, I don't want to be like that guy who's like anything sexy, but that's really like the thing. I mean, you can make anything your own. Like whatever it is, whatever character you pick. Yeah, just make it sexy. That's what I try to do. Well, I can hold on. Let me cosplay.
It's gonna be sexy.
Yeah.
I'm already getting aroused.
My go-to right here. There we go.
That is reggae sexy.
Halloween costume. That's why you make it sexy. That's all you gotta do. Whatever you do, you make it sexy. Like I
Stoner
do. You just gotta
Jesus,
own it.
I am rock hard right now. I am rock hard. Right
Everybody should be.
now. Jeff, what about you? What's something that you think Dahlia should do for a cosplay?
With the orange and black hair, I'm sorry, the purple and black hair, I'm going to make my own. Very creative. Half Joker face, half Harley Quinn face. Like half and half. And a half costume, like it's Harley on one side, Joker on the other side. That'd be sexy.
I love that.
Instead of Joker, what about half Two-Face? Like you remember from
it could be Two-Face also.
Two-Face, his face kind of matches the cartoon version, kind of matches her hair color. Half Two-Face, half Harley Quinn. It's like a Harley Quinn Two-Face type gimmick. Like that would be cool. That would be really cool. I was thinking maybe like a Poison Ivy.
I'm going to hit the arouse bell because that's symbolic for I'm now aroused.
Have you done of course, as I said, I saw the Snorlax there. Have you done any Pokemon thing once?
No. Like once I did a very poorly done Joy, like Nurse Joy, but it was very poorly done. It wasn't living up to what I would like it to.
Not that you would like it, or not that the average nerd, because guys like us would love it. But there's a lot of deep-rooted nerds that are like
it was I don't know. People can buy it if they want to and give me their opinion.
I like that. That's marketing right there, my friends.
What about Rocket Leader Sierra? What about that? Like I think that would be
I did a Rocket. I did Team Rocket, Jesse.
Okay. That's cool. I like that one. What about, and of course, like we saw Ric Flair, you knew Ric Flair, you knew Charlotte. So I'm guessing you know a little bit about wrestling. Are there any wrestling like characters that you would want to do?
No, that's not it's never been my cup of tea. I can't imagine. I don't know, cosplaying real people, I guess.
Okay, that makes sense.
I prefer to cosplay like characters.
Okay. Have you done anything, like I know you said Freddie and Nancy. Have you done anything with Friday the 13th?
I did a Final Girl cosplay from Crystal Lake.
Nice. Did you have like a Jason with it and all that, or?
No, I just did it solo. I did like pre-shots where it looks like they would be like cutesy camp photos, and then after that I did Final Girl, like dirty, like I survived cosplay.
Nice. There's a website. I'll send it to you. But there's a Twitter page that I follow. It's called Gallows Lane, and they do all these really sexy horror shoots. And it's like Ghostface, like killing like hot chicks, like naked, like they have blood all over them, and like and it's like Michael Myers, Jason, all that stuff. That would probably be something cool that you could do, like do a Gallows Lane thing or whatever with them, because that would be really cool with that. Like, would you do one with like a Jason? Like, I guess like you ever see like Jason X, where like they do like the AI thing and the girls pop up and they're like, oh, you want to smoke some weed? You want to drink some beer? You want to have some premarital sex? And they do that, like you're like that whole scene. And then like afterwards is him just like macheting you. And you're like, oh God, like, no, like, would you do something like that?
I've actually never been like a Friday the 13th fan. I've only seen the original.
Oh no. God, I am so hurt right now because you're talking to a guy who literally has Friday the 13th tattooed on his entire back.
Sorry.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, this episode is done.
Thank you.
Now, what about, and of course, in the adult industry, there's porn parodies. Like, have you done a porn parody? And if you haven't, would you do a porn parody, and what would it be for?
I don't really do like a ton of porn. So I don't make a ton of content. Like the content that exists is content that has existed. So like I probably wouldn't do it.
Okay.
But I respect it and I think it's amazing.
What do you think, if there's anything off the top of your head, like let's say you're watching porn, if there's a parody that you could think of for porn parody? Because I think, like rattling off, I think there's been almost everything I could ever imagine for a porn parody. But if you were
Sleepaway Camp.
Oh, that one. Let me see real quick. I'm curious.
That's a good one. I'm curious.
Sleepaway Camp. Sleepaway Camp.
There was also, if you've ever seen Phantasm, there was like a whole sex scene in that.
Was there really?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like a full sex scene, but you see titties and they're fooling around.
Oh.
All right. So Phantasm.
Yes.
Parody, because I think I know what I'm watching when I get some free time this week.
I'll walk back into development, Daphne, and there's hundreds of those.
Oh dear Lord, there is a Phantasm porn parody, and I wish there was an image that I could show on YouTube Live.
Damn,
this looks amazing from what I'm seeing. I know how I am spending my Monday evening, and that is watching the Phantasm porn parody, which the guy who plays the tall man in that is absolutely amazing. Like that, a hardcore Phantasm parody. That's what it's called. So everybody at home, look up a hardcore Phantasm parody.
Yeah, we're gonna do it right here. God damn you.
So Dahlia, with everything, of course, you're also nominated for an AVN. So have you with the AVNs and all, have you won any awards yourself? Is there anything out there that you've won any kind of awards or anything like that?
I've won 7 ManyVids awards.
Oh, shit.
And I've won March Madness on MFC twice. And I've been nominated. This is my second nomination for favorite cam girl, but I have not won an AVN. So
the AVN fan awards are really hard. Was it last year and this year? You said it was your second time. So yeah, that was us. Our first one was last year. And of course there's Jeff with his sign that he has written out. So last year and this year, but it's so much, just posting out there, hey, vote for us. But you never know what's going to happen. So I hope to see Dahlia as one of the announced names. We've been voting for, I always try to vote for all of our former, future, and past guests for those kind of awards and all that kind of stuff. So Dahlia, I think what we're going to do is we're going to get ready to wrap this up in a little bit. So for anybody watching at home, where can they find you?
You can Google DahliaIsDopey.com or DahliaIsDope.com. If you Google DahliaIsDopey, you'll find me there. On all of the on ManyVids, OnlyFans, My Free Cams, ePlay.
Look for the Snow White costume.
That's on Instagram. Find
Yes.
me on Instagram, which is DahliaIsDope. If you are finding me on Instagram, please find DahliaIsDope.
Pretty sure I'm there. I think I got there today.
And with that, I meant to ask, and this is probably a common question you probably get asked a lot, with the whole Dahlia is dope, Dahlia is dopey thing. Like, how did that kind of emerge? Because I do see some of the things that say Dahlia Lux on it as well. So how did it kind of transition? Is it one or the other, or did you just kind of go, I'm going with dope and dopey, and that's
Yeah, I just changed my mind. It had been enough years. I had been Dahlia Lux like enough years. I was done with it.
You changed gimmicks pretty much. You're like, I'm done with this gimmick. This is what I'm going to do. And of course
no, that's not the right one.
Yeah,
that's not.
Take the Y off the end.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Dahlia's
See,
dope.
this is what I do. That. This is why I did that right.
Wow,
here.
Jeff. Wow.
I want to make sure I got it right.
No, see, it's good. We figured it out together.
There it is. Much better, like 71,000 fans. You kidding me? Get the that's the site. I've got it. And wow, Snow White.
Yes, the Snow White is good. So actually what I'm going to do is, since Jeff pulled it up on his phone, I'm going to pull it up right here. So for those of you at
You've
home,
lost
if you
Jeff
wanna
for the
find
night.
her on Instagram, this is what you're looking for on Instagram. 71.2K followers. And let's see, there's of course our amazing graphic right there. Shout out to Curtain Jerker Design. So They did that up. That's the Snow White that Jeff keeps on, lusting over right there. So make sure you go out, make sure you find her, make sure you find her Instagram, her Twitter /X, whatever you want to call it. Follow her and, shoot her some money over on OnlyFans,
Yeah, so it's like Dahlia's dope, and my Instagram is going to change to Jeff is broke, because on Instagram with this Snow White stuff, yeah, I'm done.
And Jeff, before we go, any final thoughts, my dude? Any final thoughts? Anything final for Dahlia before we let her get out of here?
Yeah, before we go, I know you're sitting, so we didn't see it, but you have an amazing ass too. Bravo to your ass. I mean, my God. But you're awesome and super cool, and I love the 2-color hair. I love your persona. I love the cosplay. Big fan. Big fan. Love it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm in sweatpants, so I feel like the worst.
It doesn't even matter. I think you could be in a snowsuit, and it would still just chef's kiss, as Ray would say.
Ches Remy from Ratatouille approves. Stoner Jesus, any final thoughts? Anything final for Dahlia before we let her get out of here?
Well, not that anyone asked, but I also have an amazing ass. Not that I'm gonna...
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
she showed. So no offense, Stoner Jesus.
My boobs are playing too, as well. So, Dahlia, it's nice to meet you. You seem like a pretty chill, cool person. So anybody watching, go follow her and check out her stuff. And support awesome people. That's my motto, I guess.
And Dahlia, what we're gonna do. Thank you again for coming on to the Happy Hour podcast. I hope you had a great time on a random train wreck or Thomas the Train of what the fuck is going to go, podcast that we have here. And can you hang out for 1 second once we conclude?
Yeah.
Awesome. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and wrap up here on YouTube Live, and of course right here on Fire TV and Roku TV for PodNation TV. We're going to be back here again this coming Tuesday. Our featured guest will be Natasha Nogan. She is actually a fashion designer that will be taking part of New York Fashion Week and London Fashion Week. So
he's in trouble.
Yeah, so that's going to be pretty cool to deal with that hear all that, everything she deals with in the fashion industry. And also we will be back on Friday. So it's Sunday, Tuesday, Friday. We don't get that much here on the show, but we're so backed up with guest requests. We will have the teacher known as Brianna Coppage. She was a teacher that did OnlyFans, and news broke on her, and she ended up losing her job and all that stuff. But she's on OnlyFans now. She's considered, yes, I am that teacher. So Brianna Coppage will be here on the Happy Hour podcast this coming Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And of course, Natasha Nogan this Tuesday will also be at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time right here on YouTube Live. And then the following day right here on Roku and Fire TV. So what we're going to do, we're going to wrap up here live. Dahlia, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And everybody go over, follow her. Make sure you follow Stoner Jesus. And also make sure you follow, actually, before we go, Stoner and Stoner, what all you have coming up?
Well, find me, Stoner Jesus 420 on X, stonerjesus.net for all things my show, and ShellySJSmokeout.com. I do a show called The Smokeout with former pro wrestler Shelly Martinez. It's an awesome show. You can interact with us and come on and smoke with us and shit. So go check it out.
Jeff, what's going on with you, man?
So this Tuesday we celebrate my co-host Jules' birthday. Kind of some random guests and random drinking. We try to get Jewel drunk the best we can. Shout out to Jewel. And Wednesday night, a lovely local singer, Jade Scalar. So www.theyoshow215.com to find all our spots. Come check us out because we're almost as good as Ray.
So make sure you follow the Happy Hour podcast, follow Stoner Jesus, follow Jeff and the Yo Show, and make sure you follow Dahlia everywhere on social media and join her OnlyFans. Take care of her, send her some money, appreciate that amazing ass. That's just the way it works.
The ass and Snow White. If I hit the lottery, you're going to be one wealthy young lady.
So we're going to wrap up here on YouTube Live. Again, thank you for joining us here on the Happy Hour podcast, and we will see you guys this coming Tuesday. So there's